Chairperson, Postgraduate Council from Madhavi College University, Dr. Mahanti, Head Department of Sasmita, and Asok, other faculty members, alumni, research scholars, and dear students of B.Ed and education. Yes, Dr. Mahanti narrated the whole journey of Department of Education, the pain, the turmoil they have passed through. Professor Rath mentioned about, asked in fact a question about the flower, the lotus, from where the lotus is originated and how lotus took shape. As a student of education, I would like to ask you in this context, because just giving a lecture is not sufficient, because I have to ignite your mind. That's my intention. Tell me, पंखो कोठु बाहर, केमती बाहर, कोठु बाहर, खराब environment. आजी डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ एजुकेशन जदि ए स्टेज को आसीची, तमर environment रे कारण psychology let me, because these two things attracted me to speak in the beginning, because my research is on the invulnerable children. I was working on invulnerable children or those who are invincible. Invulnerable mane kaun? In spite of being reared in a very deprived, disadvantaged environment, जब education department जो environment होला, सही environment रे रवि की body के मध्य, they are not deterred, they are not affected like locals. So they have their own identity. Same thing happens to Department of Education. Why education? I think almost all departments in this institution, because it was earlier a college and now it's a university. So the status is changing, because change is inevitable. And change is always for good also. And we have to take in that way. For this alumni meet, I can say that definitely for the next 10-15 years, you are the torch bearers of taking these departments ahead of it. As Professor Rath has already said, that from I to we makes lot of changes. Those who are engaged, especially I am talking about the alumni, those who are engaged, so let them be in their professional field, but as and when required or permissible, they are available, they can visit this department, can contribute in any way. It's not financially. So it can be like supporting to the younger sisters. Here, how to do, where to go, how to apply. So these intellectual sharing of intellectual informations are also very important. And for us, definitely, we are going to provide you the physical space and intellectual space also in terms of using our resources within our campus. So that's very important, and which I would like to say. Yes, education is now key to the success. Education doesn't mean that there is a lot of difference between getting a certificate, knowledge and information. If that knowledge is not powerful enough to provide you a better future, not that you only work, job oriented, because I think you have to be a job creator rather. Entrepreneur, educational entrepreneurship. So that is the area where you can play a very important role, educational entrepreneurship. I will give you some tips also in this regard. National Education Policy 2020, for the first time in the history of India, has included early childhood education in its policy for the first time. Earlier it was school education, higher secondary and the college education, higher education. When it is the early childhood education is the area which is, it's a hot cake, where you people can play a very important role, both B.Ed and the education department, to preparing early childhood entrepreneurship. in your individual level because you have got the degree in this. To add to this information, let me tell you, especially the South India and Western Indian educational institutions, especially the universities, higher education, they are started preparing this educational entrepreneurship in the field of early childhood education. And in Odisha, the starters, the situation is very, very precarious because that is my area of specialization, early childhood education. During the first 5 years of a child's life, whatever individual's life in future. But unfortunately, our child rearing system, our upbringing system is not in accordance with this particular philosophy. We provide the school education, sophisticated school education, higher education, but early days we neglect. But this is the area. So, you know the early infant stimulation, early days, the infant stimulation is very, very important. So, it's very important that you have to make use of training and education to have a educational entrepreneurship. Rather, I will ask the department to start doing something more on this. So, Ramadeva Women's University Department of Education and B.Ed, teacher training, must be the pioneer in having some course along with the child counseling and guidance. You can have the early childhood education, some certificate course, diploma course, and in fact I have the dream of opening here a play school where that can be used as your laboratory. So that should be act as a lab. Whatever theoretically you are studying, so that laboratory has to be set up. And for that, child development lab and education department, psychology department and home science department, they can join hands together. So fund is not an issue at all. The effort by the faculty in this regard, because Sankar knows that from the day I joined, I am talking about the play school. So because Utkal University had a laboratory nursery school, and I want to have it in here. For that, it can be used as a laboratory. It can be used as the outreach program, extension activities. It can be used as the training center. So it can have a multidisciplinary approach and multiple use can be done. So that education department can take the lead in this particular context. And another thing also I would like to say, not much, Department of Education, because you educate the people, you educate the students, especially, you set the mind of the student. I would like the alumni, scholars and students, even the faculty members, to think for a moment, educating yourself. Educating yourself in terms of who you are. What's the purpose or the meaningful to your life? If each one of you present here, faculty, research scholars, students, can educate yourself and can play an important role as a role model for the department, other departments, students, scholars and faculties, because education teaches you to how to be a good teacher, is it not? A good teacher has to be a good role model. A good human being can be a good teacher only. I want a good human being. Here is the